Warzone and anti-cheat. That is a conversation that I feel like we've been having since day one, because anytime a game is free to play, it's easier to get into, and the less hurdles someone has to go through to get into the game, the greater chances there are of having cheaters inside of that game. Now, imagine you're playing Warzone and this is the final kill cam that you see. Now, seeing that final kill cam, you may have to wonder, is that guy cheating? Now, this is my absolutely least favorite question to have to ask in any FPS game, or really in any game. If the integrity of the game is so low that I have to question every good play with, is that person cheating? We may have to readdress what we really need out of the anti-cheat. Now, again, Call of Duty is free to play, which means access to the game is not gated by money. And of course, there are very cheap cheats to supposedly extremely expensive cheats. As a player that's been doing this for 30 years, the last time I cheated was a Game Genie, and I think I got myself unlimited Master Balls in Pokemon. Now, I know for most people that's probably pretty innocuous, but it was a form of cheating. So, you know, there is that. But it was a game that was single player for me at the time, as I was far too young to even care about the competitive scene. But even the youngest of people are oftentimes misled in the idea of the fairness of cheating. And of course, I was one of them. Game Shark was out, and every one of us had one, and none of us really considered just the competitiveness and the overall cheating value of that in gaming. Of course, as we got older and we began to actually take things competitively, we of course stopped using those things because we realized quickly that it was breaking down the overall competitive value of the game. So I think that now I'm 35. I believe this has been, 23 years ago. So it's been a minute since we've done something like that. But you start getting into Warzone and dealing with cheaters on pretty much a daily. So what have we here in Warzone for anti-cheat? Well, it's called Ricochet. And if you haven't already seen it, then you're probably wondering what I'm talking about. So, Ricochet is an anti-cheat that was created by Call of Duty on a kernel level, which just means that it basically comes into your PC and checks all the programs that you're running to make sure that none of them are hooking into Call of Duty and giving you an unfair advantage. This is run through a few different issues, and even most recently some more of them, as even when Ricochet first was released, things like IQ, which is a Corsair program, was getting false flags and getting people shadow banned. Of course, also we get to the other side of it, which is people are actually cheating, and so of course they're getting shadow banned and banned as well. There's been recently a conversation around the idea of either fake bans or non-legitimate bans, where a few different people have even come out to say, hey, Call of Duty unbanned my account after I was considered permanently banned, and now they're free to play again. So we have to wonder how effective Ricochet truly has been in changing the overall landscape of Call of Duty Warzone. Now, there is a lot of different ways that people have approached quote-unquote cheating in this game, and there is different values for it as well. There is the lowest of the low of a cheat, which is called an unlock tool, which realistically, the only people that are getting hurt by unlock tools generally is going to be Call of Duty, because they want to make money. Unlock tools unlocks all the guns, all the camos, all the skins, and a lot of times people who are running around with those have unlocked them early too, which means Call of Duty doesn't even get a chance to kind of hit you with the wow factor when you get jumped by a skin that's not released for another 2 weeks, and so maybe you're less likely to buy it. But on the other side of the fence, those unlock tools frequently come with other things built in as well. Things like 3D radar, which is the ability to see people on your screen all the time, even though you're not supposed to be able to see them. Again, it's basically just another version of walls, being able to see your enemies through the walls. Aimbots and lots of other things. Unlock tools originally for games back in my early childhood, unlock tools were just really for unlocking costumes for your characters inside of games. Then obviously they have gotten more sophisticated and have turned into full-on cheat devices. So just because someone's using an unlocked tool doesn't mean that they're necessarily cheating, but it generally means that they have access to the cheats. So Call of Duty has, of course, cracked down on unlocked tools, which has got a lot of people banned. And there's a lot of conversations around big-name players that have recently got banned because they were using unlocked tools. And that's one of those things that you have to consider is, was it really worth taking the chance of even being considered a cheater just to have a new skin? The skins obviously most of the time don't cause any effect. If you were playing something like Apex where certain guns have just better iron sights because you bought the gun, which is essentially a version of pay to win, then I can see it. But for the most of the time, the skins in this are all purely cosmetic, and most of the time, honestly, the skins will get you killed. There's something about being a giant, you know, ghost character that is covered in flames that makes you kind of little stand out. I don't know. But overall, in Warzone, we have had to deal with cheating a lot since the game first came out, and it has got better, and then it has got worse, and then it gets a little bit better, and it's a constant fight when it comes down to Warzone and cheating. One of the biggest things that they should really approach is definitely doubling down on the outside of Warzone bans, so that way we could hopefully get a little bit of relief here. Things like banning hardware IDs, banning IPs, and banning just overall just internet IDs, things that are connected to your PC, to your network device, your overall location. All of them, of course, can be bypassed, but the more things that you have to force them to do to bypass it, the less likely they are to keep continuously try to do it. Is it foolproof? No. Of course, a anti-cheat is always racing against the cheat manufacturers. They're attempting to make as much money on this as possible, and of course, the anti-cheat is working as fast as they can to try to fight back against that. The difference is anti-cheat is generally baked into a game, which means they only have to change it just enough to be able to get it bypassing the anti-cheat, whereas the anti-cheat itself takes weeks and weeks of changing because it has to also make sure that it doesn't cause the game to crash endlessly and make the game completely unplayable. So unfortunately enough, in today's market, we're always, as players, fighting against not just cheaters, but the speed in which anti-cheats can be updated. And honestly, until we start adopting a true AI anti-cheat, something that actually works to scam players in real time, it's going to always be a losing battle. The developers can only work so fast, but, of course, we can hope they just keep getting better. Or maybe people will grow a spine and just stop cheating. I don't know. That would be my first choice, is maybe just get good. I don't know. I've been doing this for a long time, and I've gotten older, and of course I've watched a bunch of kids get significantly better than me, and I think it's really awesome. I love watching people who are better than me play these games, and I love learning stuff from them. But again, like I said before, if you have to question at the end of every round, is that guy cheating? Well, it really sucks. Behind you see me playing some gameplay with the Moors. That is the newest sniper rifle inside of Call of Duty, and it has the capability of penetrating a lot of surfaces, and before it was nerfed, it would penetrate basically any surface. So this was the #1 cheater weapon right now, because honestly, beforehand, they could just hit you through anything and it'd be fine. And I really didn't with a lot of them, really, so maybe Call of Duty, you're doing better. But I appreciate it. Let me know your just absolute worst hacker story below, or your absolutely favorite hackuzation. I've got a lot of them lately with this, and I tell you, it's a bit of a compliment. It is. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, peace. Jaden, if you just want to hang out, and have a good time, you can do that. You don't have to flex the potential of money. If you want to donate, just donate. Don't lock it behind some sort of weird requirement.
Closing in, relocating the safe zone.
Especially because what'll end up happening is if you don't donate after I win, then everyone will make fun of you, and that will just be awkward. No, nobody wants that, right?
Friendly UAV entering area. Gas is moving.
Surprise! My germs. Haymaker, it's a pain in the ass is what it is.
Advanced UAV is disengaging. Gas is inbound, marking a new safe zone.
Oh my
Squad
god.
that's a job well done.
I'm getting banned. Getting banned so hard.